Testing, testing. Round 10, NPL New South Wales men's. And we're at the home of Rockdale Illinden, the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre for match of the round. And it features the home side, Rockdale, taking on Sydney Olympic, two of the traditional powerhouses of the competition. And this one is sure to be an absolute classic. Two teams coming into this in terrific form with 3 wins on the spin. Rockdale sitting in second spot, coming into the round behind the Western Sydney Wanderers. Sounding all right? Yeah? Good stuff. It is a welcome to the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre for round 10, match of the round in the NPL Men's New South Wales. And what a blockbuster we've got for you between Rockdale Illinden and Sydney Olympic. Two teams in terrific form, coming off 3 wins in a row. Rockdale sitting in second spot. Sydney Olympic, a recent good run, has seen them go up to 9th spot ahead of this round. And we are set for an absolute classic here, this rivalry that goes back decades, and the two teams are primed. We've had a big afternoon here at Rockdale, a terrific atmosphere with the Legends game in place, and we are going to pause momentarily before play gets underway and observe a minute's silence in honour of those who passed away in the tragedy at Bondi Junction yesterday.
Silence in regards to the tragedy that occurred at Bondi Westfield yesterday.
Yes, on behalf of the Football New South Wales family, our thoughts and prayers are with all those affected by the tragic events at Bondi yesterday.
Will you please have all the kids off the field, please?
Impeccably
Thank you.
honoured. 1 minute silence here at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre ahead of this round 10. As I said, a big blockbuster, this one. Two teams with the storied rivalry. They're coming off 3 wins in a row, so some big confidence coming into this. Rockdale on 20 points heading into the round. They're 4 behind the Western Sydney Wanderers and 4. They're starting 11. Paul D has made one change with Daniel Collins coming into the starting 11. So the full lineup is Harrison Devenish-Mears in goals. The back 4 of Braden Sorge, Daniel Collins, Matthew Cordier and Giorgio Esperanza. The midfield trio, Isaac Danso, Dean Pelikanos and Brendan Chalakian. And then it's a front 3 on the flanks, Lockie Constable and Bay Antonio. And through the middle, the competition's top scorer. And his battle with Roy O'Donovan will be a beauty. Alec Urushevsky, keep an eye out for him. 9 coming into the round. And he's close to becoming the Rockdale Illinden all-time top scorer. He's only 3 behind the great Spase Nedosky. So a big aim for Alec Urushevsky. As for Sydney Olympic, only one change to the team that beat the Central Coast Mariners last week. Coming into the midfield is Gianni DiPizio. So the full lineup, Noah James in goals. The back 4 of Will Much, Ziggy Gordon, George Timotheu and Jackson Bandiera. The midfield trio, Sam McElhatton, George Antonis and Gianni DiPizio. And then it's a front 3 of Michael Vakis on the right, Adam Parkhouse on the left, and through the middle, the 2022 top scorer in the NPL New South Wales in Roy O'Donovan. And the battle between O'Donovan and Urushevsky, certainly one of the highlights, one of the big narratives and talking points ahead of this big round 10 match. We're at the a third of the way through the season. Can you believe that? The first 10 rounds have fizzed by. It's a warm one here in Rockdale. The temperature at kickoff is 24 degrees. We've just got a bit of a delay because our assistant referee just checking the net on the far side over there. Looks like there may be some running repairs needed just ahead of kickoff. And Adrian Arndt is our match official, his assistants for this one, Alessandro Lana, who's just over there making sure that the nets are all in order. He's supported by Charlie O'Brien on the other line, and our fourth official is Thomas Dale. There are match officials. We've had a big bumper afternoon here, terrific crowd. It's been very difficult to find a park around the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre, with the Legends game taking place just before this. Some of the big names of yesteryear putting on a show, which Rockdale won by 4-3 over Olympic. And now it's time for the main affair, and it will be Olympic in their traditional all blue with white trimmings to kick things off, as the streamers on the far side from the home supporters kick off. It's a great atmosphere, as I said, big crowd. We're expecting a terrific contest between these two sides. One of 4 games taking place across this Super Sunday of NPL New South Wales men's action. There's some intriguing results around the ground. I'll keep you posted on those. Some big score lines. Perhaps a big shock over at Sydney Olympic Park. Apia are taking one of their home games to the Sydney Olympic Park region, and they're currently trailing Sydney United 58 by 5-1. Can you believe that? What a scoreline that is. Two of the traditional giants there in the second half there. Just over 15 minutes left. We'll keep you posted on progress there around the grounds as well, but that is certainly a big scoreline. As we kick things off here with the ball now at the feet of Bay Antonio, who are looking to feed Urushevsky. Clearance comes from one of the new signings at Sydney Olympic this season in Jackson Bandiera, and now it's one of their real stars of 2024 in Michael Vakis, combining with O'Donovan. Couldn't quite link it up. Now Dansel can come out through the new man in the starting 11 today, in Daniel Collins. Devini Schmears clears long. Timotheu doesn't muck around, first time. And O'Donovan has to leave it, coming back from an offside position. Out now with Antonio, two teams that do love to play positive attacking football. Rockdale have only lost the 1 game this season. They've had a terrific run. Here's Pelikanos driving out of midfield. And now it's Chalakian who looks to hit the feet there of Urushevsky. 9 goals in the opening 9 rounds. The usual standards from last year's top scorer and player of the season in Alec Urushevsky. After missing out, didn't hit the back of the net in the opening round victory over Marconi here. He scored in the last 8 rounds. So, what a run, what a streak. Certainly a player with the reputation of goal a game, Alec Urushevsky. And he's living up to that in season 2024 after 27 in the 30-round season last year. And it's been quite the story as Antonis spots the keeper off his line, and Devini Schmears had to grab that and pluck it out of the sky. That was goal bound. Clever heads-up play from Antonis early on here. He blocked one of the passing lanes. He saw the keeper off his line, and credit to Harrison Devini Schmears, who got back and got 2 hands on it. That would have been a spectacular start to this match. Here is Chalakiad looking to feed it in behind. The run comes, and the flag would have denied Constable. He made the run forward down the right-hand side. Positive start as we expected in this match. Two teams do love to get it down, play Good attacking football. And now it's the opposite number 11. Down the left-hand side for Olympic and Adam Parkhouse. And this battle with Braden Sorge, I've got it down in my notes as one of the real box office matchups in season 2024. Sorge versus Parkhouse is one to look out for. One of the best one-on-one defenders in Sorge up against Parkhouse, who's such a live wire. And one of the real outlets for Olympic as far as their work in possession is concerned. They do love to go down the left-hand side and utilise Parkhouse. He hasn't got on the score sheet yet, but he's so high up in the assists, double figures last year as far as assists concerned. And he got one last week in that 2-0 victory over the Central Coast Mariners, setting up Roy O'Donovan for the second of Olympics 2 goals. So that really is box office, that matchup. Of course, Sorge, a former Sydney Olympic player. He's had a storied history in the NPL New South Wales, the NPL top flight. After a great shift, a winning shift at Olympic, he moved across to Rockdale. And here he is, looking to influence in more of an attacking sense. As Collins feeds Dansel. Now it's Cordier. A new role for him in season 2024. We've been used to seeing him over the last few seasons, whether at Sydney Olympic, one of his former clubs, Apia Leichhardt, or even last season at Rockdale. We saw him at left back, but this year, with Giorgio Speranza coming in, here he is on the ball. A new role for Cordier at left centre back, and what a sterling job he is doing there. Alongside Daniel Collins today. Just sorting out those streamers that the Rockdale fans threw onto the pitch at kickoff. Making sure we don't get any of the play tangled up in amongst that web of streamers. But an attacking position here for Rockdale. Sam McElhatton chipping in. So terrific build-up here at Rockdale, a bumper crowd, a real carnival atmosphere around the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre this afternoon. As they look to build up down the left-hand side, and they've earned a corner. Neat work from Bay Antonio, I've spoken about. Braden Sorge, being a former Sydney Olympic player, the same with Mathieu Cordier. Same story also with Bay Antonio, who spent a couple of seasons at Sydney Olympic. And he's earned the corner here that Chalakian, another former Olympic player, is going to take. In it comes. This one's going to be a tester for the keeper. And it was a header just over the crossbar in the end. Noah James came. He didn't quite get to it. And a Rockdale header just over the crossbar, so a good early set piece. As Olympic look to play out with Ziggy Gordon. He looks to go long. Under pressure there from Alek Urushevsky, who not only does the work in possession, but you can see he sets the tempo as far as the press is concerned for Rockdale. He put the pressure on Gordon there and forced the Olympic defender to go long. Here is Cordier. Thanks for your company wherever you are watching from around the world. Football New South Wales YouTube, your spot in season 2024 for all the action in the men's top flight as well as the women's top flight of Football New South Wales. Another giveaway here from Collins. Can Olympic punish in counter-attack? It's now Antonis. Parkhouse is central. And it was Collins who recovered. He was the player who gave up possession. Not for the first time. Some sloppy work out of defence from Rockdale's defence. That time, Antonis' cross was cut out by Collins. He recovered well. But it's Olympic who have a corner. We saw Rockdale test at the other end with a set piece. This time it's a short variation. Bandiera. Timotheo has to retrieve. Can't quite hook it goal bound. And it remains 0-0. Thanks for your company. Tony Tanous here with you at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre. Pleasure to have your company. This big round 10 NPL Men's New South Wales match of the round. So much intrigue around the runs from Alek Urushevsky. 8 goals in 8. In fact, 9 goals in the past 8 games. He's scored in 8 straight matches, and here he is now, looking to test Olympic. It was good recovery. Gianni DiPizio, who's come into the starting 11 today, playing in the centre of midfield. Got the support there from Bandiera, and they work back to snuff out that attack from Urushevsky, but it's going to be another corner. Pelikanos has moved forward. This one is aimed towards the back post. Dealing with that was DiPizio. It's fallen to Speranza. And now Sorge. Got it on target. Couldn't quite get the direction and power to test Noah James. I saw Sorge pop up in the opening round of the season, attacking the same goal. With an important one against the Marconi Stallions. McElhatton thought about taking that one quick. Gone instead for the switcher play out to Bandiera. Heavy first touch, but he gets away with it. Bit of room in that midfield. Nice raid down the right-hand side. They send the former Rockdale Illinden player in Will Much, who moved across during the transfer window last year, where he was on the fringes perhaps at Rockdale. He's become a regular starter at Olympic down that right-hand side, relishing the opportunity to play from the start, week in, week out. Keen to make an impression, no doubt, against his former club. There's quite a few of those angles around this match. Pizio does well. McElhatton pulls it down. Now they look to play. Labano Halidi's men getting forward now through Varkas. Slipped it in behind. It was a nice build-up, a nice idea, but the flag did go up on the far side. Alessandro Lana on that opposite side, putting the flag up to deny the run from Parkhouse. Just a few instructions on the near side. Nick Stavroulakis, the assistant for Rockdale, just having a word with Lockie Constable. Maybe seeing a couple of things in the opening exchanges here that they'd like to address. Happy to go back Ziggy Gordon all the way back to Noah James. Former Newcastle Jets Academy custodian. He made the move across to Olympic this season. Nice run here from Bandiera. And it was important work. Sorge got back. And it was an important touch. It's an excellent ball out from George Timotheu. Looking to hit the run of Parkhouse as well as Bandiera. They've created a couple of good moments. Olympic, perhaps the best, falling to George Antonis, who tried to catch Harrison Devenish-Mears out in the opening 5 minutes. That would have been a spectacular start to the match and one of the goals of the season had he been able to execute. Some big scores around the grounds this afternoon. This is the last of the kickoffs in round 10 of the NPL Men's New South Wales. I mentioned that scoreline out of Sydney Olympic Park, where Apia, last year's premiers, coming off a big win last week in the match of the round away to Wollongong. Well, they're currently trailing by 5-1 against Sydney United. Joko Kalitz's men suffered a 2-1 loss last week to Rockdale over at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Goal coming from Hunter Elliott in the 92nd minute, so what a way to bounce back with a big win over their rivals in Apia. It's been a good start for Sydney United 58. As Parkhouse looks to take on Sorge again. Don't take your eye off this battle every time. Sorge might have been behind there, but quickly, how quick was his recovery? And now Rockdale have possession as a result, and they look to go quickly into counter-attack. Bay Antonio first touch, and the reverse ball from Urushevsky, and it was important work there. Will Much getting back on that right-hand side. A lovely little bit of give and go there. One-touch football, Antonio and Urushevsky. The understanding was excellent. Constable with the initial diagonal ball, looking to spring the counter-attack. Credit to Olympic. And Will Much down that right-hand side. We've already seen Rockdale do a bit of damage at set pieces. They've asked a question. They're going to put it into a dangerous area again. And Sorge, in fact, it was Collins putting himself about. Sorge picks the top corner with an amazing strike. Braden Sorge, if you don't mind. A stunning strike to give Rockdale Illinden the lead. An absolute screamer into the top corner. How about taking that on the outside of the foot? A spectacular piece of technique. We've spoken about his defensive work, Braden Sorge, and how he scored a goal in the opening round here against Marconi. It was a match of the round as well. An important goal, that one. And this one could prove to be the case as well. A stunner from Sorge as Rockdale recycled things from a set piece. And there was nothing Noah James could do about that. Sorge has got his second of the season. Just mentioned how Rockdale had tested Sydney Olympic at the initial corner, the first corner. That time it came out. Rockdale had the numbers and Sorge produced the magic. Here he is, contributing in attack again. They've got it at the feet of Urushevsky, and now Chalakian. He took a snapshot. And maybe an important defensive contribution there as Bandiera was on the spot. Chalakian couldn't quite get the direction and power. Maybe under the challenge there from Bandiera. It's a terrific start for the home side. The confidence up. Only one loss so far in season 2024. You might have heard the halftime score over at Western Sydney Wanderers Academy with the competition leaders leading St George City by 5-1. Can you believe that scoreline as well? We're in the second half and no change to the score there, but it looks like the Wanderers will continue to lead at the point of the third way through the season. Currently leading St George City by 5-1, but Rockdale will know they want to stay right on their tail. A victory today will keep that 4-point buffer, keep them right in the mix in the first half of the season. Time the challenge from Bay Antonio. Looks really up for his defensive work on that left-hand side. Sorge with his second of the campaign. I mentioned in the first round match, it's a collector's item when you see Braden Sorge hit the back of the net. Well, he scored 2 from outside the box this season. The first one was a low strike. This one, top corner. There's appeals here from Olympic for handball, and the referee was right on the spot. and he is going to award Olympic a penalty kick. Looked like it popped up and might have hit Speranza on the arm. Michael Vakis was the player who took the initial touch, and Adrian Arndt didn't hesitate, pointing to the spot. No sooner have Rockdale hit the lead, Olympic have the opportunity to level things up. It's going to be that man in Roy O'Donovan. He's already got 5 for the season. We've spoken about the big battle today between Alec Urushevsky and Roy O'Donovan, the top 2 goal scorers in the past couple of seasons. And it is going to be O'Donovan who steps up, and he puts it past Evgeny Schmierz. O'Donovan's got 4 in 4 weeks, and now 6 for the season, and Olympic a level. 1-1 it is here at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre. The last 4, Rockdale, the lead didn't last too long. And Olympic have hit right back from the penalty spot. O'Donovan makes a 6 in season 2024. So go with his 19 last year. And in season 2022, he topped the scoring charts, just pipping Urushevsky. He got 21. That went right down to the final day, that battle between the 2 marksmen. And last year, it was Alec Urushevsky who got the better of O'Donovan, scoring 4 goals in the 2 games between the sides. But O'Donovan's got one early here, and he's got another opportunity. Flag's gone up though. He was in an offside position. He applauded the quality of that early delivery from George Antonis. It was a terrifically drilled ball to the striker. Antonis has had a great start to the match, playing in that advanced midfield role. The screening coming from Michael Hatton and Gianni D'Apizio. Looking very lively behind O'Donovan in the early part of the match is Antonis. That time, Pelikanos couldn't make it stick. Like Antonis, a former Western Sydney Wanderers Academy player. There's quite a few on the pitch today. One of those working back there in Constable. Here's Isaac Danso. Player schooled in the Spanish way. Spent many a year developing and honing his craft in the Spanish academies, as Vargas ducks inside and tries one on the left foot. With the confidence that he's got this season, you can't begrudge him that. He's already managed to hit the back of the net 3 times, has Michael Vakis. Player in terrific form, great confidence. That's only going to be heightened by the fact he's won a penalty to give Olympic the leveller. As Michael Hatton drives forward beyond Pelikanos, and he looks to link it up with Antonis. Good contribution though from the man they call DC, Daniel Collins. Guard of honour before this match from the legends of both of these clubs. Some of the great names, Chris Kalansis, Peter Katholos for Olympic. As the ball comes across, it's a great goal. Oh, the flag's gone up to deny Urushevsky. He thought he'd scored his 10th of the season. But the assistant on the near side was quick to flag. And that one's not going to count. Time comes here from Daniel Collins. Bobby Newmovsky, Zlatko Nestevsky, some of the greats. Saw Will Angel, Paul Henderson for Olympic as well. Some recent players is great to see. A Legends match that the Rockdale club is hoping to make a regular fixture. 2 clubs, as I said, with a real storied history and storied rivalry going back many a decade. And this is the latest instalment as Michael Haddon can't quite find O'Donovan. Chalakian with the first time spread. A little bit too heavy for Antonio. See the grandstand, the hill, plenty of patrons have turned up. Barely a car spot to be found. We had the under-20s before the Legends match. Rockdale also coming away with the victory, a 3-2 win. And a shout out to a couple of players who are back on the pitch. Roberto Speranza for Rockdale Illinden. He's been out for almost a year now. Had an ACL reconstruction after injuring it at Marconi last year. Made the move across with Giorgio. Great to see him back out on the pitch. He had 45 minutes. The knee held up well. He's going to be building his fitness. Another person to add to Paul D's squad as things progress in season 2024. Here's Chalakian looking to whip that one in. Good defending though, Bandiera. Just applying enough pressure. Also for Olympic, a player who's been out for a long time as well, and Jack Simmons, great to see him back on the pitch for a period of that 20s match. Two clubs with really strong squads in season 2024, spoken about as possible title contenders for Olympic. Not the best start for them, but things are really started to pick up in the last 3 weeks as Chalakian looks to turn, and it's a great chance here for Urushevsky. In the end, Olympic got the bodies back and got the block on. Important touch there from Collins as Urushevsky got into the box. So often able to execute in those moments. Such are the spoils for these two sides. Olympic, for example, Jaden Casella, a former Rockdale player, not even part of the squad today. We'll go through the respective benches and you'll see what I mean. Two squads that are really loaded. Got plenty of options in reserve. Makes for healthy competition. And with a 30-round campaign for the second year in a row, those numbers will be needed. As Urushevsky turns now and lays it into the path of Chalakian. Bit of room and space. Bay Antonio out on the left-hand side. And it was spilled by Noah James, fortunately for him. Spilled into the path of a teammate. And Olympic were able to clear. How smooth were Rockdale in transition. As the ball comes across, Constable trying to get ahead of his immediate opponent in Bandiera. Sorge keeps the attack going. Rockdale on the front foot. Here's Urushevsky going to work in the box. Couldn't quite link it up, and now Varkas can look to drive. Labano Haliti barking out the instructions. It wasn't quite the quality on the delivery. And suddenly it's end-to-end transition as Chalakian looks to unleash. He does get it on target, but quite comfortable in the end for Noah James. End-to-end action here at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre. Hope you are enjoying it. Tony Tanous behind the mic for this round 10 NPL Men's New South Wales match of the round. Courtier under pressure. Rockdale, as they love to do, play out through their keeper. It did lead to an error last week. Devenish Mears not shy. And picking up where he's left throughout the season. Unfortunate error with that press from Nakamura, leading to a goal. But he kept playing, and Rockdale kept playing out. They eventually got their reward deep into stoppages. And here's Parkhouse now with a bit of room. Can he get it inside? McElhatton was the player making the run out of midfield, but the flag was up in any case. Not quite the timing. They have had a couple of moments in transition after scoring their equaliser. A moment or two ago, Varkas had a chance to slip it in for Adam Parkhouse. Couldn't quite find that pass. Dansor press, look how comfortable he is. Taking the ball, holding off his direct opponent in Michael Hatton. Now they look to get it forward to Antonio. Across was Gordon. Back in the starting 11 last week. Ziggy Gordon keeping his spot today. It means that Ten Qual is one of those 5 outfield players on the bench for Labano Haliti. We'll go through the full bench for them. Chris Parsons is the reserve keeper. And the outfield players, Oliver Pufflet. As the ball comes in, looking for Urushevsky. Parkhouse clears. Has he got enough on that to get it back to Devenish Mears? Just about. Matthew Cordier. So Oliver Pufflet, Darcy Burgess, who was in the starting 11 last week in that 2-0 victory over the Mariners. He has to make do with a spot on the bench today. Zach Zoricic, Abraham Marjock, and Ten Qual are the 5 outfield players. So you can clearly see the strength, and no room for Jaden Casella today on the bench. Peter Politis currently still out injured for Olympic. As for the home side, Ricardo Rizzo, who was the hero midweek. They won on penalties in the Australia Cup round 4 match, which went all the way after being locked at 2-2. Full time and extra time. Ricardo Rizzo played his part in a 4-2 penalty shootout win over Manly United for Rockdale. Well, he's on the bench today. And joining him on the bench, Lockie Griffiths, Yinka Sunmola, Hunter Elliott, who was the hero last week in that late winner against Sydney United 58. Great chance this, what a goal it is! Chalakian with a screamer from outside the box. A terrific piece of technique. And we've just seen a couple of wonderful goals from Rockdale Illinden. Braden Sorge, anything you can do, I can do as well, says Brendan Chalakian. And he scores his 5th of the NPL New South Wales season. And this first half is certainly living up to the hype. Rockdale have produced a couple of gems from outside the 18-yard box. And there was not much Noah James could do about that. He goes off and celebrates with the fans on the hill. And Chalakian, he spent a couple of seasons at Olympic, is now making life at Rockdale. He's been in great form. Season 2024. Looking as fit as ever. The stalwart of this competition. Eight years he spent at Manly United. Really enjoying life at Rockdale as they look to get it forward again. Urushevsky's onside and he forces the save. Noah James comes and punches. And it was Pelikanos following up. Rockdale really on the front foot, confidence up. They've got a couple. And they're looking to put the foot right on the throat here of Olympic. Forward it goes. Michael Hatton. Working back was Dansor. We've seen his qualities on the ball. There he was doing the defensive work. For once, Rockdale couldn't make the passes stick. And now Parkhouse can look early for O'Donovan. Looking to hold it up and go to work in the box. But Cordier got back. What a terrific contest. You always talk about the quality of the NPL New South Wales men's, and you're seeing it on display here. Two teams that have really done a great job with their recruitment Two coaches that like to play a positive attacking brand. An Olympic who only won one of their first 6 matches. That came in round 3, a match of the round which we featured against Sydney United 58, where they scored a massive 6-0 victory. Well, after that, they lost 3 in a row to the Marconi Stallions, Sutherland Sharks and Apia. Now they've won themselves 3 matches in a row coming into this match against Manly United. 2-0 victory back in round 7. And then a fortnight ago, an absolute classic, a late come-from-behind victory over the Wollongong Wolves at home, 4-3 victory. And last week, that 2-0 over the Mariners. But right now, they're trailed by 2-1, so they'll have to come from behind. Not for the first time this afternoon. Still plenty of time, of course. And that's a lovely touch from Urushevsky. Got to it ahead of Timotheou. And Sorge carries his run forward. Now he looks to link it up with Antonio. Good work. Gianni DiPizio working back. Chalakian feeds Urushevsky. And now it's across to Sorge, and he tried it again with the outside of that right foot. It worked earlier in this half. That time he couldn't quite get the direction. Some updates around the grounds full time over at Sydney Olympic Park, and it's a massive victory, 5-1, Sydney United 58 over Apia Leichhardt. As Chalakian looks to go to work now, feeds Constable, and it's another screamer from the home side. The first time hit from Lockie Constable, the assist coming from Chalakian, and Rockdale are running rampant here at home in this big round 10 NPL men's match of the round. Flooding forward in numbers and really asking question after question of Olympic. And Constable adds to the goals from Sorge and Chalakian. And Rockdale lead this by 3-1. Good advantage there. It might have been a foul in the back play as Chalakian played that one through. But Adrian Arndt saw the run from Constable and he honoured the run. The advantage certainly paying dividends there for the home side. A big atmosphere around this match with the Legends match. Plenty of other news. Rockdale will unveil their new LED lighting once the sun sets and the lights come on. We hope to see that in the second half, but the club have done some great things with local council to upgrade their facilities. And they've got some international standard LED lighting, which we really hope to see in full effect throughout the second half, but a real buzz around the ground today. The rotisseries doing brisk business, the bar's open. Where else would you want to be on a Sunday afternoon? As Antonio looks to feed Urushevsky, who's watched his teammates score some absolute pearlers in the first half, and he was looking to add to the list there. Trying it on his right foot. Wasn't too far away from making it 4. They only score bangers today, Rockdale. Sorge, Chalakian and Constable. As the sun drops, a warm day here in the southeast. Chalakian dispossessed there by DiPizio. One of the new signings from the Central Coast Mariners. Couldn't keep it for Olympic. Now Sorge comes forward again. Seeing plenty of him in an attacking sense. Maybe looking to make Parkhouse work. Blunt Olympics attack. Here's Urushevsky, so effective as target man and executioner. That time his pass was left a little bit short. And this is going to be the first yellow card of the match. Going against the home side, goes against Giorgio Speranza for that late challenge. Forward goes the ball. O'Donovan's a target. The flag's going to go up though. Trying to play right on the last man is O'Donovan. They've tried that tactic on a few occasions already, Olympic. That ball over the top. Trying to catch what they might perceive as a high line. The players just having to shield their eyes as they look over to that opposite side. Shalakian faced by DiPizio. Quickly they go. Antonia's got Urushevsky in there. Constable was also making the run. It's eluded both of them. Swords retrieves. Here's Dunsor. Pelikanos short. Good first touch with the sole of the foot. Real technician is Dean Pelikanos. Now Constable. Former teammate of his at the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. Now Dunsor, who can dance into the space. Played out to Sorge. First time delivery. Not quite as effective as his effort earlier in the half. That time it looked like he was looking for that cross to the back post. There's some really good things happening here at Rockdale. Off the pitch, you can see that progress. The crowds that they are getting week to week here for their home games. Great atmosphere, great promotion. Another feather to their cap with the upgrade to the lighting here. Here's Parkhouse, can he get him behind? Important work in the end. Daniel Collins just had to get those long legs of his onto the ball. Denying Parkhouse the opportunity to get him behind. We're deep into the match at the Wanderers Centre of Excellence, or the Academy out there at Rudy Hill, and the Wanderers coming into this round, 4 points atop the ladder under Andrew Christensen. Well, they're going to at least keep that buffer, maybe extend it depending on how this result goes. But winning 6-1, we're deep into the regulation time there. The St. George City. It's a massive win. 5-1 up they were at half time. Great start with Adam Bugaria continuing to be among the goals. As Timotheo steps out here for Olympic. Parkhouse can go against Sorge. Looks to go on the outside. Sorge, as ever, so good in those one-on-ones. And speaking of one-on-ones, what about the turn there from Constable? Drew the defender in. It's going to fall here to Dunsor. They're picking up every loose ball at the moment, Rockdale. That weren't pleased, Labino Haliti. Currently the spacing between the Rockdale players looks right on song. As soon as there's a loose ball, there's someone in the vicinity. This is a nice combination again. Happy to just to keep a bit of possession. Again it falls to a red and black jersey. Can Olympic keep it here? Quickly pressed. Now Constable lays it forward. Great opportunity. Urushevsky. And can you believe that? He couldn't quite hit the target. He couldn't quite join the party as far as goal scoring is concerned this afternoon. Hit it across the keeper, but just the other side of the post. As Olympic look to hit back before half-time. Varkas with a bit of room and space, and he's going to try his luck. We've seen spectacular goals at the other end. And Varkas was trying to add to the catalogue there. Isn't too far away. Played his role in the only Olympic goal, winning the penalty, which O'Donovan put away. We are going to see the board go up to additional minutes of stoppages. Olympics certainly won't want to concede another. Saw the late show from them last week, so they certainly believe that they can come from behind. Spectacular first half here from the home side. They've really made a statement against a big opponent, and it's another attempt from distance. This time Isaac Danso. They've been very bullish this season, have Rockdale. And based on what we've seen in the opening 10 rounds, that confidence is certainly founded. Playing some terrific football under Paul D. And that's been all on display in this opening period. They've really exposed Olympic. Here comes Bandiera down the left-hand side. Chance to get one back here for the visitors. Over the top as Varkas fetches. Looks to take on Speranzo's on a yellow card. What a chance it was. Bandiera. And now Deveni Schmears comes and gathers. Couldn't quite get on top of that. Bandiera, having hit the back of the net during the week. Sydney Olympics round 4. Australia Cup match, and here it's been the home side. A wonderful performance, a terrific display. They take a 3-1 lead in, and haven't there been some absolute bangers with Braden Sorge, Brendan Chalakian and Lockie Constable scoring spectacular goals. Make sure you check them out. You can use half time to go back and look over the first half, some of the spectacular play. Olympic did equalise at one point through Roy O'Donovan from the penalty spot, but it's been the home side of boss things, and they take a deserved 3-1 lead into half time. And we are going to pause, have a breath after a frantic first half, and be back with all the second half action. Make sure you stick around on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel.
We've got a special event happening.
And it is a welcome back to the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre. Round 10, NPL Men's New South Wales Match of the Round. Tony Tanous here with you from the home of Rockdale, who take a 3-1 lead into this second half of this big blockbuster traditional rivalry against a Sydney Olympic. And three absolute screamers from the home side. Braden Sorge kicking things off. Rory O'Donovan was able to equalise for Olympic from the penalty spot. But then Rockdale, who are in the ascendancy throughout the opening period. Screamers from Chilakian, who shaped one into the top corner, and then Constable, who thundered one past Noah James. Give the home side a 3-1 lead. And there's work ahead of Sydney Olympic in the second period, and they have introduced Darcy Burgess. At least one change for this second half. We'll see what they do as far as shape is concerned, but Darcy Burgess certainly one of the players that has come on at the break. Looks like he might be on for Gianni D'Apizio, with George Antonis moving a little bit deeper. So Darcy Burgess, who wears the number 10, is going to play in behind Roy O'Donovan in that number 10 role. Now in his 7th season at Sydney Olympic, a former Rockdale Illinden Junior himself. Played here as part of the under-20s. You might also remember, those of you who followed the National Premier League or the New South Wales top tier over the past decade, his brother in Max Burgess, who now is at Sydney FC, used to play as part of the first team here at Rockdale. So the Burgess family certainly synonymous with these parts. Let's see if Darcy can make a difference for Olympic, who will look to mount a second half comeback. As they did against the Wollongong Wolves a fortnight ago. That was at home. This one away against the team that had the edge over them last year. Both games between these two were won by Rockdale 2-0 in the opening half of the season, which was at Belmore. And then the scoreline here in the second half of the campaign finished 3-1 to Rockdale, which is the scoreline we have at half-time. Both those occasions, Alek Udushevsky getting himself doubles. Yet to hit the back of the net today, but his teammates haven't let him down. As Much looks to link it up with the new man in Darcy Burgess. Daniel Collins got a foot in. Now Chalakian can look to turn and face forward. Udushevsky leaves it. Antonio was in an onside position, so play on's the call. Making the run inside, it was Constable attacking that near post, but he couldn't quite get the angle on his effort. Needed the subtlest of touches from that angle. Got a little bit too much on it. Timotheu pressed here by Udushevsky. Out through Bandiera. Sorge, who got things underway, has to retreat now as Parkhouse tries to find some space and link it up with the Irishman in O'Donovan. And Tonus pushed back into the midfield. McElhatton, who was one of Olympic's busiest in the first half. Chalakian tries to get the better of Antonis. Play on's the call here is Udushevsky. Looks to get beyond Ziggy Gordon. His shirt was being pulled and the referee was right onto it. Adrian Arndt, an experienced official now in his 12th season across the football New South Wales scene. He was the man behind the whistle when Olympic made that dramatic comeback a fortnight ago at Belmore against the Wollongong Wolves. Here's Danzo, the metronome of this Rockdale unit, sitting at the base in that number 6. He wears the number 6, so good to watch. Just moving the ball around, 1 and 2 touch. Spoken about his Spanish upbringing, the likes of Levante. Here he is, Dunsel. 1 and 2 touch, as I said. Just keeps the ball ticking along. Classy midfielder. Shows you the quality that is around the NPL New South Wales as Bay Antonio looks to get beyond Much. Much recovers well. And Darcy Burgess, the fresh legs. Ever willing to roll up the sleeves. Just beyond our cameras in that far corner, you can see Vedran Jaganchak Just giving a couple of instructions to a couple of the Rockdale substitutes, the likes of Yinka Sunmola, as well as Blake Rashudo. 2 players available for Rockdale. Bandiera tried the early delivery to O'Donovan, cut out again by Collins, who made a couple of errors in the opening 15 minutes, but he's made up for it with some strong defensive work, getting his opportunity ahead of Lockie Griffiths today. Here come Olympic down the left again. Bandiera. So that full bench again for Rockdale. Ricardo Rizzo, the reserve keeper. Lockie Griffiths, Yinka Sunmola, Hunter Elliott, Blake Rashudo, and the Japanese import. Central midfielder in So Kataoko. Plenty of attacking options for both sides as Adrian Arndt pulls out a yellow card for what he saw a simulation there from Roy O'Donovan. So the card goes to the experienced striker right under the nose of the Rockdale faithful on the far side. And didn't they let him know about it? So yellow card there to Roy O'Donovan. He'll look to make it up here, linking up with Parkhouse. O'Donovan trying to shake off Sorge, who's stuck to his defensive task. A great battle. Sorge in that one-on-one, so hard to shake off. Not many can get beyond him. One of the most underrated, certainly not when he's in a squad. Every coach rates him, you know how effective he is. What a career he's made in the New South Wales top flight. Here's Pelikanos. Part of that young-looking axis in the middle for Rockdale. Constable adds to the youthfulness of this squad. Now they come out through Speranza. Antonio finds Chilakian, who feeds Speranza. What a save. Noah James flung out that left arm and got a glove to it to deny Speranza. Lovely build-up there from Rockdale. They knocked it around down the left-hand side. 1 and 2 touch football. And they eventually found the space and found the free man in the 18-yard box. And Speranza was denied by an excellent Noah James stop. 3-1 it remains. Gordon having to deal with that. He's got a bandage. You might have noticed Ziggy Gordon. Bit of a cut to the back of the head as Dansor squares it across, and Burgess, all hands on deck at the moment for Olympic. Trying to keep this gap at a 2-goal margin. We've seen some big scorelines across the NPL New South Wales this afternoon. Round 10. It's Dansor. Links it up with Pelikanos. This is delightful again. Constable in behind. Antonio was the target. 1 and 2 touch again from the Red and Blacks. Just going over those score lines this afternoon. Sydney United 58 away from home. A big 5-1 win over Apia. Blacktown City, they were at home to Central Coast Mariners. Bottom place Mariners, and Blacktown got the job done. 3-1 at home. So they're right in the mix under Mark Crittenden. The ever-present the team at the top, the Western Sydney Wanderers. A massive victory for them. As Varkas looks to get him behind, and he's got another one back. In fact, looks like it's going to be a free kick for that challenge. A little bit too aggressive on Deveni Schmears. The keeper was adjudged to have got to that ball first. The assistant flagged. And Vakis was penalised for that challenge on the keeper. I'll hope that it's nothing too serious for the American custodian. He's certainly making a few headlines around the NPL New South Wales. One of the most sought after goalkeepers. Plenty of talk around where his future might lie as well. So he's one to watch. Might have made a mistake last week, but he put it behind him. Got on with the business of his work, and he's produced a terrific afternoon so far. He was first to that one and was rewarded. So Western Sydney Wanderers, as I said, continuing on their winning ways under Andrew Christensen. A wonderful 6-1 victory over St George City. They shared the goals around, the likes of Bugaria, Eunice, Hollingdale, Hammond, Badalato, all among the goal scorers. Timotheo gets across. Now Burgess is in a bit of space. Waits for the support from midfield. McElhatton spreads the play. Vakis quickly onto him with Speranza. So they're the results from our Super Sunday of NPL men's. 3 games last night. Spirit FC, another important win for them. It's one of the teams down the bottom as well. And Hills United. Parkhouse finds Vakis. Looks for that early delivery. Collins across, and it was fortunate that it went over the top of the crossbar. His clearance. So that 3-1 victory for David Perkovic's men. Just gives them a little bit of a buffer. Been a difficult start to their season, but they're starting to get a few players back. Chianchi yesterday was excellent for them. Chance here for Timotheo. And it's been awarded as a goal kick as Timotheo couldn't quite get it on target. The ball fell at his feet. He took the first time shot. And it wasn't too far away from halving the deficit. Good to see a familiar face in the crowd today. Marconi Stallions coach in Peter Tsakenis. His side had a good victory last night. Solid 2-1 victory over Manly United. Had James Temokovsky back the last couple of weeks. Franco Meyer in good goal scoring form as well. So good victory for the Stallions, bouncing back after a loss last week. As Bandiera dances forward. Tries to take on another one, and that time couldn't get past Cordier, who did the defensive work, stepping out of the back, and now Antonio on the counter-attack. He can find Urushevsky. This is where he loves to go to work. Alik Urushevsky! He tried to place it into one of the corners, but in the end, straight at Noah James. As Paul D starts to get a couple of his substitutes ready. Looks like Inka Sunmola and Lockie Griffiths getting ready for the home side. There's Vakis. So often see these changes around the hour mark, particularly with the games coming thick and fast, and they had Australia Cup action, a game that went into extra time, 120 minutes. So they'll be keen to maintain the buffer and use their bench as much as possible today. It looks like Olympic through Labino Halidi will also get a couple of benchies ready. And Oliver Pufflet and Zach Zoricic. So they'll have a couple of changes each. And we are going to see those changes now as Michael Vakis makes way for Pufflet. And also it's going to be Bandiera making way for Zach Zoricic. So one defender for another. An attacker in Pufflet on. Lockie Griffiths comes on. Looks like we might see a bit of an adjustment here. As Lockie Constable and Bay Antonio make way for Yinka Sunmola and Lockie Griffiths. Looks like Cordier might go into more of an advanced position here on the left side of the attack. Showing his adaptability, starting in central defence with Lockie Griffiths coming on. Cordier's going to be given the opportunity to stretch the legs. So he'll be wide out on the left, Sunmola out on the right-hand side. There's a straight swap for Lockie Constable. And Griffiths alongside Daniel Collins in central defence. So they're the adjustments by Paul D. The third of the games last night. The result coming out of this ground, in fact, where St George FC played host to the Wollongong Wolves. St George had a 2-0 lead at one point. Terrific start from them, with goals from Skataric and also Quilligan. But the Wollongong Wolves, credit to them, are able to come back and pick up a point. They might have got more in the end. Takumi Afuka got one back, and then Dylan Ryan with the equaliser from a set piece. So 2-2 that finished as O'Donovan presses Deveni Schmies. O'Donovan, he had the opportunity to try and strike goal bound. But Deveni Schmies who got caught last week by Shunta Nakamura, almost had his pocket pinched again. Here's Urushevsky. Joining in the attack is Georgia Esperanza, as we've seen over the past decade across the NPL New South Wales at his various clubs, Blacktown City, the Marconi Stallions, now Rockdale. Never shy, Giorgio, of getting forward. And last week, what an assist it was late on to pick up the 3 points, and you could see how much it meant to the Rockdale squad in that big grudge match against Sydney United 58. Celebrations as they picked up the 3 points. You could see how much that game meant. They want to keep the momentum and keep the pressure on the Western Sydney Wanderers at the top of the table. Shalakian gave the ball away and then gave the free kick away. So there are results from Saturday night. We had one game. Also played here on Friday night, Sydney FC hosting the Sutherland Sharks. Sutherland might have had the better of the match. Certainly created the better opportunities, had the more shots on goal. But in the end, it finished 0-0. Sydney able to rebound after their big loss to Blacktown City last week. Pick up a point at home. Steady the ship, as they say. Rockdale will look to keep this buffer in the second half. They've got a 2-0 lead. I know they've got a big game next week on the road to Apia next Sunday. Apia having picked up the 3 points last week in Wollongong, they'll be disappointed to be back home today. They moved the game to Sydney Olympic Park, the athletic centre there. Sydney United 58 have got a massive victory, and that will be talked about, no doubt. There's McElhatton. Gets this one out to Zoricic, fresh off the bench. Trying to get forward down that left-hand side. Sticking to his task there was Yinka Sunmola, also fresh off the bench. Sunmola, a young player who's been around the NPL New South Wales scene for a number of years now. Played at all three well, certainly 3 of the A-League academies in the Wanderers, Sydney FC and Central Coast Mariners after making his debut at Mount Druitt. Hoping to really charge his career here at Rockdale. Devenish Mears with some excellent distribution. Beautifully weighted ball. Put that on a dime to Cordier. Great delivery into the run of Sunmola, who looks across. Here's Urushevsky. And it was a great block. Credit to the recovery work there from Ziggy Gordon. And he gets a high five from his teammates. The scrambling defence there from Olympic as Rockdale penetrated so quickly into transition. And Urushevsky still searching for that goal to keep his run going. He's scored in every game since round 2, 8 in a row, 9 goals in 8 weeks. 10 when you add the goal midweek in the Australia Cup as well against Manly. So he's looking to keep that streak going. Only one game where he hasn't scored this season, and that was the opening round. But an excellent block there from Gordon. As Nick Stavroulakis has a word to a couple more substitutes, but we'll wait for this corner before we see a couple more Rockdale players introduced. Chalakian whips this one in, and it was Griffiths, the substitute. What a save. Noah James, he didn't know much about that, but his reflexes were right on point. Excellent save to deny Griffiths. Now Speranza gets a goal bound, cleared by Gordon. Here is Cordier, happy to go all the way back to Devenish Mears. Again, the distribution is excellent, and Chalakian had the right idea, tried to take it first time. As we're going to see, Blake Rashudo. And also, Kataoka. So Chalakian off for Kataoka. And Dancer also off. So 2 midfielders on. They'll freshen up the centre of the park with Blake Rashudo and Kataoka on for Danso and Chalakian.
Substitution for Rockdale. Number 6 Isaac Nanzo, number 10 Brendan Chalakian, replaced by Blake Rashudo. So
Kataoka goes into that number 10 role. Here he is trying to apply the press on Gordon. Work back on McElhatton, who dinks it over the top. Little chip. Scotty Scheffler would have been proud of at the Masters. Nice touch on that from the Olympic attacker. And they keep the pressure on here. Out by Griffiths. Nice delivery into that fresh player in Kataoka. Sunmola. Swords just happy to keep a bit of possession. Blake Rashudo. Yeah, good to see him back in the New South Wales top flight. We saw him produce a masterful display off the bench in the opening round victory over the Marconi Stallions. We spoke to him after that match. Great to see him back after his time in Asia, where he's a professional for 3 years. In the Hong Kong League. Urushevsky still searching for that goal, and he might get the opportunity here. James in the end had to produce another stop. Didn't know if that one was on target. It was a attempted clearance from Timotheo, who thought he might have had a free kick. It's going to be a corner instead. And Rockdale continued to ask questions. No change to the score in the second half. The home side continues to lead by 3-1. Another save for James. There was no one there to poach it home for Rockdale. You have to say the bench went up there. They thought the reaction might have been a bit sharper. The punch from James was loose in the box. Here is Collins. Pelicanos linking it up with Kataoko. Now that right hand side, Sunmola. Zurashevsky taking it on the chest. Shudo. It's another opportunity here to keep it alive for Rockdale. Coming forward again is Speranza, relishing the opportunity to be so involved in an attacking sense, getting plenty of touches. Shudo thought he kept that in. Assistant on the near side, Charlie O'Brien, had other ideas. It's going to be an Olympic throw. So, the Wanderers moving up to 28 points. Rockdale starting this round on 20. The victory here will in fact, the Wanderers moving up to 27 after that 6-1 victory over St George FA. So Rockdale will remain, if they can secure the 3 points, they'll remain 4 points behind the Wanderers. Marconi, after their victory yesterday, they moved up to 22. Blacktown winning today, Apia losing today. As Antonis goes into the book here for wrestling. Lockie Griffiths, bit of frustration from the young midfielder. Comes the second Olympic player booked. Joins Roy O'Donovan and Adrian Arntz. Notepad. Might start. You see the sun has gone down, the lights are starting to take effect. If you get Olympic look to build this up. Antonis, great build up here, and he was denied in the end by Devenish Mears. Some lovely football there. 1 and 2 touch through the middle of the park. In the end, straight at the keeper. One of Olympic's better moves of the match so far. And Labino Halidi applauds that. Some really good football with Antonis joining the front third. And he is a cultured footballer, young George Antonis. He showed those qualities there. Here he is trying to spread the play. As I said, the light's starting to take effect, and as I mentioned in the first half, another chance here for Olympic. The lights have come on and they've come to life. The away side. Suddenly they're asking question after question, and Mackle Hatton tries his luck from a long range. Good signs in the last few minutes from the visitors. The new LED lighting here starting to take effect. Great work from the Rockdale club. $330,000 investment in upgrades. 520 lux. Certainly international standard or high standard lighting. Over the top it goes. Parkhouse is a target, and he's got it on target. And Deveni Schmeers has produced a point-blank save to keep it at 2-1. Wonderful goalkeeping there. He was off his line. Parkhouse took it first time, but credit to Deveni Schmeers. Suddenly, Olympic are really asking question after question. And here's Antonis, a real instigator in the last few minutes. If they can get one back, the momentum is starting to swing. Rockdale will look to pick things up in transition with Sun Mola. Now Urushevsky. Waits for the support from Rashudo. Now Sun Mola. Lovely turn, one way and the other. Sticking to his task, though, was the youngster in Zoricic. Son of a former Olympic NSL player in Chris Zoricic. Many of you who've followed the Australian football scene over the past number of decades will remember him, the Kiwi international, who played for Olympic in the 90s. It's great to see Zach, his youngster. He spent a bit of time at the Central Coast Mariners Academy, a couple of years there. He's moved across this season. Rockdale have a corner. Rashudo's the target, and Sun Mola's kept it alive here. Still on here for Griffiths. And now it's Courtier. Somehow Olympic managed to clear it. Miraculous work off the line. And there's scrambled defence on 2 or 3 occasions in this second half. The desperation to keep it at 3-1. And that was excellent defending. Courtier's gone into the book for that challenge, that lunge. We'll just wait to see the player that picks himself off the ground. Miraculous clearance it was, but Courtier's been booked for that challenge. They are going to make a change here. Their final, in fact, another change with Tenqual coming on for Sam McElhatton. And it was Will Much, the player, who was the last man on the line, and copped that errant contact from Matthew Courtier. So Courtier joins Georgia Esperanza in the book for Rockdale. Nice bit of work here from Rashudo. Urushevsky wants it in behind. Now he's on the left-hand side, looks to tee it across. And it was fortunate for Olympic, it fell to Zach Zoricic because they were lining up. Kataoko and Sun Mola at the back post for Rockdale. Strong challenge there, Lockie Griffiths. Kataoko. Pressure there from O'Donovan, but it's still with Rockdale. Kataoka with a sharp turn onto the left foot. Spreads the play out to Courtier. Speranza goes around, creates the overlap. And there's Much sticking to his defensive task. They haven't surrendered Olympic. Positive signs from them in the second half. They've created 2 or 3 moments as Tenqual. In fact, it's Abraham Marjock. My apologies. The attacking player has come on into that midfield. Marjock has shown some good signs this season. Attacking move from Labano Haliti. With him coming on for McElhatton, defensive midfielder. Here is Timotheo. Parkhouse. Olympic have to get one back to make a grandstand finish of this. Here comes Much. Good ball in behind, taken well. And it was a good effort there from Pufflet. A nice first touch on the thigh. In the end, his effort was deflected away, so it's going to be a corner to Olympic. And Burgess will go across to take it. It's been a good 5 or 10 minutes for the Sydney Olympic, the visitors. They've created 2 or 3 good moments. They can't quite find the back of the net. Devini Schmeers denying Parkhouse earlier on. Pufflet there with a good opportunity. So this is a real go from the visitors to try and level things up. Well, second best in the first half, but they're really making a fist of it in the second. As Marjock puts himself in there. Rashudo clears. Still time, but they need to try and find a second goal soon. As the ball goes over the top again, O'Donovan's going to get to it. Keeps it in. Can he tee up a teammate? Marjock was in there. Daniel Collins and Griffiths just about scrambling and doing enough defensively. Chant goes up from the home fans. It's been a terrific crowd here at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre as Parkhouse is going to try his luck, and that looked on target. At least it was going to test Devini Schmeers, but Pelikanos got his body in the way, and he's actually gone down after that. Hit him pretty hard. He's had a terrific game in the centre of midfield, Dean Pelikanos. Just going to get a bit of treatment. He's going to have to go to the sideline, so it's not going to be part of this defensive setup. Olympic have to get one back soon. Make a grandstand finish of this. They trail by 3-1. Burgess shapes this one in and tests the keeper, who didn't take any risks. He's produced a couple of key stops today, has Devini Schmeers. In fact, the keepers at both ends have done a great job. Noah James couldn't do much about the 3 first half goals. Absolute worldies, all 3 of them. Devini Schmeers might have some more work to do here. Aim towards Marjock. It's going to fall to Burgess. He looks to combine with Marjock. Cross it goes to Zoricic. He spreads the play onto the left foot of Parkhouse. Invariably, he ducks onto that left foot of his. Looks to dink it up. Marjock was the target. Rashudo dealt with it. All the experience there. And Sunmola doing well to draw the challenge. An illegal one from Pufflet. And he's also going to go into the book. Joining O'Donovan and Antonis. Back to Devini Schmeers. This time not taking any risks. We've seen him caught a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. The 3-1 lead. No need to take any risk there. Rockdale getting their last outfield player readied. Going to be a late cameo for last week's hero in Hunter Elliott, new signing this season from Manly United. Saw him come on last week on the right side of the attack. Smutch looks to get it down the line. Pufflet is going to fall to Parkhouse. Have to try and find the quality here, Olympic. Pelikanos working back, not once but twice. He's had a massive shift in that midfield. Here's Antonis. Lovely work to link it up with Timotheu, who looks over the top. Pufflet was the target. Griffiths composed. Player who joined the NPL New South Wales from ACT NPL. There's a couple of good defensive pieces of work there. And there's Sun Mola. He's Rashudo. Out to Sorge. What an influential first half he had. The opening goal so crucial. But his defensive work on Parkhouse has been on point throughout. This time he provides the outlet ball for Sun Mola, and Rockdale will be happy to kill as much time as they can. They are going to make a change, and that is going to be Hunter Elliott. And Pelikanos is the player who's going to make way in the remaining minutes here at Rockdale. A big shift from the central midfielder. Let's see what they do here. Can play in many a position. Hunter Elliott looks like he's going to go on the right-hand side. They might just... add an extra number defensively. Forward they go, Olympic. Again, the defensive work comes from Lockie Griffiths. He's done a big shift. It's going to come again. Rockdale couldn't make it stick in attack, and Timotheo has space to carry it forward. Here's Darcy Burgess. It's been a terrific afternoon here. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage across the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Tony Tanous with you here at the Rockdale Illinden Sports Centre. Not long left in regulation time before we go into stoppages, as Pufflet tries his luck from outside the 18, and Donovan was following in. Roy couldn't get a toe onto it. His goal scoring streak has been extended to 4 games. 4th week in a row. He's found the back of the net, but this one's going to be forlorn. Looks like Rockdale are going to march away with the 3 points unless Olympic can produce the late injury time show again. Credit to Rockdale. The lighting here is sensational with these new lights. Really setting the standard as far as lighting is concerned. Griffiths turns on this. Here is Timotheo. Can Olympic make this a grandstand finish? If they get one now, you just never know. I've seen it time and time again this season as Parkhouse looks first time. Sorge was straight onto him, and he gets a massive applause from the fans on that far side. They love him. He's a crowd favourite here, Braden Sorge, and he was right on point there, giving Parkhouse no time and space. And that time, Sun Mola heeding the work of his more experienced teammate, rolling the sleeves up the youngster. He's Much. Marjock is available. Goes instead to Pufflet. Griffiths uses his body well. Shielded the ball and got himself between ball and player. Let that run over the byline for a goal kick. Every second so precious now for Rockdale. They've got their 3-1, their 2-goal buffer. And if you haven't seen them, make sure you check out the highlights. 3 absolutely world-class strikes from Braden Sorge, Brendan Chalakian, and Lockie Constable. We are now into stoppage time. The board has gone up to indicate 4 additional minutes. Our fourth official, Thomas Dale, just confirming 4 minutes. That's when Olympic went to work against the Wollongong Wolves to grab a couple of goals in the late dramatic win. The ball's at the opposite end that they want it at the moment. Rockdale won't be in any rush to take this. The home side have been absolutely wonderful. They did the business as far as goal scoring is concerned in the first half. In the second half, they've been able to withstand all the pressure from Olympic. Can they get another one from a set piece here? Over their heads at the far posts on Mola and Hunter Elliott are queuing up. Terrific backdrop here as the lights take over from the sunshine. And here's Pufflet over the top to Marjock. Marjock looks to get beyond Collins. Referee saying play on, that Collins got a piece of it. Olympic thought they might have had a free kick. Here is Timotheu. Referee bringing it back for a free kick. That challenge by Cordier, who has to be careful. Got some numbers at the back post here, Olympic. Can they make a late grandstand finish of this? Darcy Burgess over the dead ball. Devenish Mears has got a 3-man wall up. Burgess went direct, tried to catch him out. Parkhouse now whips this in. Devenish Mears comes. Who's it going to fall to? Timotheu. And it's going to be another corner. You've got to give Olympic credit. Their second half, they've really thrown everything at Rockdale. Things just haven't quite gone for them. Second goal for them, and you just never know. They might have been able to build some momentum, but it hasn't quite come. Couple just past the post. Devenish Mears with a couple of excellent saves as well. And Sun Molar's going to go into the book for kicking the ball away there. Trying to eat up the seconds. And certainly in the second half, the yellow cards have piled on. It might be too late now for the visitors, but they'll keep going. As Abraham Marjock looks to find a teammate here. Coming in at the back post is O'Donovan, and it is a goal. They've got one back. Is there time yet for the visitors? 3-2 the scoreline now, and O'Donovan's going to be credited with that one. He took the strike. It did come off. It looked like Daniel Collins in the end. But you sense that one was goal bound, and it might go to the Irishman in O'Donovan, who's got a double here this afternoon. But we're deep into stoppage time. 4 minutes was what was indicated. And is there time still for the visitors? They've thrown everything at Rockdale in the second period. 3-2 the scoreline now. Urushevsky's going to knock this one into the corner. It's the referee seen here. He's going to make them take that again. Perhaps he wasn't quite ready for that restart to take place. He is now. They're going to do the same thing. Going to try and chip it right into that corner. Olympic have got to launch it long. They produced a late drama a fortnight ago against the Wollongong Wolves. Can they do it here to pick up a point? It's been a wonderful contest. Rockdale certainly in the ascendancy in the first half. And in the end, that work in the first half has done the business for the Rockdale Illinden. They've won this one by 3-1 with 3 world-class strikes in the first half. Braden Sorge, Brendan Chalakian and Lockie Constable. In fact, it was 3-2 in the end because Roy O'Donovan popped up for a late goal in stoppage time. But the memorable first half from the home side in Rockdale. With those world-class strikes, make sure you check them out. Make sure you check out our match report. We've had Mickey Brock here chronicling this one. Keen to see the coach comments in the post-match report. But the highlights will be up as well throughout the week for not only this game, but a big bumper round with plenty of goals around the grounds. It's been terrific to have your company on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. We're a third of the way through the season. The Western Sydney Wanderers lead the competition on 27 points. But Rockdale pick up another 3 points today to stay within touching distance. They're 4 behind. And then you've got the likes of Marconi, Apia, Blacktown City, all not too far off. And this season has had a terrific start, and there's plenty more to come, no doubt. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Tony Tanusi wrapping up a big victory for the home side. Rockdale Illinden 3-2 over Sydney Olympic.
East West Plant Services, Borgia Grains, Audrey Australia,